ganito mangyayari. Wala akong nababalita. So, alam ko na may kernel of truth siya. Ito totoong kwento yung pinigyan ko sa akin.
May point ba sa while filming na you feel na may pressure sa inyo to tone down some parts of the series?
Wala namang bigay ng ganong pakiramdam. And at the same time, iniisip ko rin, kapag binawasan mo yung timpla, for lack of a better word, hindi na siya makakatuhanan para dun sa mga kwento na gusto mo sabihin. So I think everyone involved tried their best to make it as sincere as possible. Wala naman. And I think it's not that I'm discouraging them. Pero pag mayroon kasi lumapit, parang ang pwede mo lang gawin, pwede. Ang pwede mo lang gawin is represent for them. Kasi that sounds so negative. Pero hanggang saan ba yung tulong or comfort kapag meron na may ganyang pinagdaan? Wala akong ibang guide na may babalik. So, ang pinaka-comfort na mabibigyan mo sa kanila is to listen. To let them know na natinig mo, na naintindihan mo yung nararamdaman nila kahit paano. Ang ganda na rin nila. Oo, ano to? Galing ako sa pangalaman. So, segue.
Pero magka-connect.
Oo, connect lahat. Earlier on t-shirt ng Betrayal.
Parang nalilinya ka sa mga projects that have parang social relevance. Is that parang deliberate decision na yun?
Hindi naman. Tingin ko lang yung mga producers na mabasa yung mga ilang post. I mean, di ba? Ay, ito, medyo pareho tayo dito. Sige, baka naman gusto mo. Kailangan eh. Sa tingin ko, lahat tayo dapat meron pinaniniwalaan. Kasi kung wala, bakit? Totoo lang.
Kasi hindi ka naman nalilinya dahil sa mga brave.
There's always a risk. Some people like some people like para let's be friends with everyone. Gawin natin to para hindi tayo magkakaroon. Pero yung kinabukasan ng kabuhayan, oo, kailangan. Pero hindi kayo naiiwan sa doon ako sa habang may pagkakataon na makita nila ano yung sa paniniwala ko dapat. Hindi ko sinasabing dapat nilang sundin, dapat nilang paniwalaan, dapat nilang siya. Pero dapat din, habang lumalaki sila, masabi nila na, pag meron akong bagay na pinaniniwalaan at pinaninindigan, may karapatan ako.
Hindi mo naman nararamdaman na hindi ka na nawalan ka ng project dahil sa mga paniniwala.
Hindi ko naman naisip or hindi ko naman naramdaman. Siguro ang pinaka subliminal thought ko na is pag nawalan, alam ko na. Pero alam ko na kung bakit. Pero wala naman. Saka this is not about pride or ego. Kung ang pagiging sumatat kung saan ka nakalinya, parang ayoko din
Lapag sa mga paniniwala. Lalo na particular politiko.
May mga ilan. Pero hindi naman siya recent. May mga ilan na rin even before. Kasi kunyari, hindi ako naniniwala sa Venezuela or ayaw ko i-glorify yung Venezuela. May mga ilan na parang ang sinasabi ko parang hindi ko magagawa. May nabasa ako na may mga research on actors abroad at sinasabi nila na ang mga actors daw may ability to become, not to fake, hindi siya proseso sa utak na tinatakbo, kundi nagiging yung character. Diba? Kung ganun, every time na isa, uunahin ko yung trabaho lang kesa sa personal na mga bagay. Meron akong risk na pag-uvin kung ano yung core na inaalagaan ko sa sarili ko. Dahil yun yung pinapractice ng ito. And para sa akin, parang wala akong producer na kaya bayaran yun. And ayokong isaalang-alang yung paniniwala ko. Pinaninindigan ko para lang kumita ko.
Wala.
Hindi?
Hindi mo panahon ngayon. Panahon ngayon yung daming nangyayari. Ano mga filmmakers nila na nakaka-feed sa mga manonood? Alam mo panahon
Yun ang malupot. I would second. I know na medyo mixed reactions yung Patrick Joy yung statement niya. But I would second it. Kasi matagal na rin namin yung pinananawagan sa mga bata. Naiintindihan ko yung value ng entertainment para sa inyo. Ako rin, fan ako ng MCU. Diba? Pag nakita ko, uy, Marvel Universe, taka, tayo. Pero pag may nabalitaan ako ng magandang pelikula ng Pilipinas, ilan ako hindi. Kasamahan ko. Hanap ko ng paraan para makapagod. Kasi yun yung mundo ginagawa ng industriya ng lahat. Yung industriya na alagaan. Pag nadidinig ko na wala kasing bago, wala kasing ganito, wala kasing ganito. Hindi ka kasi na. Hindi mo kasi sinilip, hindi mo binigyan ng oras. Ang kultura at yung arts, nabubuhay yan. Yung sinusunod.
Dun sa mga tinanggihan mo, wala kang pinagsisihan na na-realize mo tama yung decision mo na tanggihan mo.
Hindi ko maisip na yun agad kung tama lahat. Pero yung sa pagsisisi, wala naman. Kasi pagka lumabas tapos ang ganda pala, natutuwa ka para dun sa ganda. Kasi naniwala siya dun sa project. Minsan, at hindi madalang mangyari sa akin na pag nahihiya ako, kunyari matagal ko nang kasama sa trabaho yun, nag-uusap at gusto kong bumanggi. Sabihin ko, gusto mo ba mag-recommenda ako ng kaibigan? So magbabanggit ako ng mga ilang pangalan ng mga artista. Patingin ko kaya. At pag nakuha nila at nagawa nila ang maganda, siyempre masaya ako para sa kanila. Guy, napakasarap yung trabaho.
At mabuti.
At mabuti.
Pero wrong if ever lang kung naalokin mo mas more than mga monitors na hindi mo nga pinaniniwalaan. For example, in the future, for example, ng President Duterte, yung mga ganun tarap sa'yo.
Or si President.
Anong hindi mo tatanggap?
Okay. Malamang yun. And it's not that it's a personal thing. Kasi hindi ko naman sila kinalaman sa akin. Pero hindi ko... Well, depende rin siguro sa material. Depende sa material, di ba? Oo. Kasi ginawa namin yung play na Komprontasyon ni Ron Capinting. Siya yung fictional Marcos o yung fictional niya. And at first sabi ko, hindi gusto ko play yung lead. Pero habang tumatakbo yung play sa kasi yung material lang nagpakita sa akin ng dichotomy niya at nung maaaring pinanggagalingan. So, ang ganda ng piyesa kasi animal po si Gela. Diba? Ang ganda ng pagkakasulat niya eh. So parang sabi ko, kahit alin dito rin sa akin, kakagaling ka. Material talaga. Sa tingin ko, sa mahigit 3 dekada kung babayad ng buwis na hindi ko nakita. Ano lang, for a very long time, for the longest time, palagi akong tahimik, palagi akong apolitika. And dumating yung araw na nagising ka na parang indifferent na pa. Iba ako nakakaramdam. Tapos sabi ko, hindi pwede kasi alam ko nakakaramdam ako. Pero hindi ako kumikibo.
Anong nag-trigger para mag-start?
Yung Ondoy yata. Yung Ondoy yata. Dati nag-Facebook kasi ako para maglaro ng games. Farmville, Mafia Wars, kung ano-ano. Yun lang yung nakumbinsi lang ako. Mag-Facebook ka kasi lahat sa Facebook na. Sinara ko yung friends there, lumipat ako ng Facebook. Tapos naglalaro lang ako, tapos biglang ang daming nagra-run. Sa ko yung nag-uuntoy. Daming nagra-run, daming galit, daming ganyan. So may mga kaibigan ko na umaasim na ng gusto, daming yung sinasabi. Tapos nag-post ako, sabi ko lang, may oras tayo mag-Facebook. May wifi tayo. Di kaya mas maganda, tumulong tayo maghanap ng lifeboats, ng first aid kits, na rescue teams para sa kanila. Kasi bigla ako nabalitaan, may kilala akong mag-asawang may edad na trap sa second floor, hindi na makalabas ng bahay. Anong ginagawa ko? Naglalaro ako ng Farmville. Teka muna, hanap tayo ng paraan. Teka muna, tinan natin paano tayo makapag-volunteer sa tulong. Niloloko pa nga ako ng mga kaibigan ko, hindi ka pwede sumama, hindi ka marunong maglangoy eh. Sabi ko, okay lang, sisid naman kasi baka diba? Pero yung mga ganon, and siguro yun yung nag-trigger sa akin na anong ginagawa ko sa social media.
Since then, naging active.
Nung una, reluctant pa. Nung una, siguro, katulad lang yung tanong ni Ma'am, paano ko maka-apekto sa akin? Kaya lang, darating din sa punto, wala ka ng active, kung ano epekto sa'yo eh. Kasi nakikita mo kung gaano kalakas yung sigaw ng ingay, tapos kahina yung boses ng mga namin.
Hindi kayo nagandaan, manahimik ko kayo. Joke lang. But thank you for being here for the time.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming over, for joining us in this premiere ng episode 4 ng Drug War Conspiracy of Silence. Alam ko, maulan, mabaha, pero mating kayo. So maraming salamat.
Ayun, so yun. Thank you everyone for attending. Ayun, kahit na umulan, napagpigyan nyo kami. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Ginawa mo siya, anong gusto mong tumago sa audience?
Episode 4 parang tama, it's the midpoint of the series. So parang it's where yung characters natin, si Father Tom played by Ian, and si Jane also si Yana played by Jane. It's where mas lumalalim na yung investigation nila, and dun sa paghukay nila nung the truth about what happened to Kiko and his father, nagiging mas nararamdaman na rin yung imminent danger dun sa ginagawa nila, and it's also parang papunta dun sa realization nila of what they should do with this truth, no, as mga susunod na episode. It's also where the things become more personal sa kanilang dalawa. Nasa magkabilang magkabilang side perspective. So yun, it's where everything, and it's also where the audience sees what happens to Kiko, kung ano yung nangyari nung gabing nawala siya, namatay.
Grabe. At of course, for the writers, Direk Philip, sir, paano niyo po in-approach, syempre, no, yung pagbuo ng kwento sa episode na ito?
Well, as with everything that we do with Rain, it's research-based. So yung mga hindi siya katang-isip, yung mga napanood ninyo, what happened to John Arcida's character, lahat to based on things that we've discovered or So yun, so with that, weaving the truth into this narrative, challenging, yes, but very gratifying na ma-pull off and make it stand.
Yes, as Direk Philip mentioned, it is mostly research-based. So it was a matter of integrating what we've discovered, or disparate little stories that happened all throughout the drug war, and then integrating them into the narrative, and attaching them to compelling characters.
Thank you so much. Our friends can follow up, but my question before we open the floor to our friends here tonight is for Sir Romnick. Grabe nangyari sa character nyo kay Ramon. Episode 1 pa lang, di ba? Pero, you know, watching it play out this way, especially with your son, na ganun. Alam mo yun, parang walang parang walang happy ending dito. No? Ano, as an actor, how was it to see this transpire?
I think even it was going to be apparent from the time na binasa namin yung script, we were talking about it, the time we shot, and parang it was apparent na hindi siya magiging magaan in any way. Walang fairy tale ending yung mga ganitong story. Also because of the fact that hindi siya tapos eh. Yeah, it's not done. Hindi pa siya tapos. Ang dami pa nating dapat masagot, matanong, mapag-usapan ng mga bagay. So, I feel blessed and fortunate that they asked me to do that role because I felt like it also starts to tell the story. Parang siya yung pinakamagandang take-off point para mabuksan yung usapin. And it's an honor to play that role. Yeah.
Thank you. At napakatapang po, no? Ditong so far yung mga napapanood natin.
Good evening. So, parang episode 4 na tayo, pero feel kong mabibitin na kami. Is there a possibility of that? I know it's about to end pa lang. Are you in talks na for a possible next season or like any continuation for it?
A materials such as this is, we have a wealth of material. A lot of human stories, people caught in this, in the middle of this drug war. Yan, banggit nga ni Romnick kanina na marami pang tanong, marami pa tayong
Yes.
pag-usapan. Kung kwento at kwento lang, marami. But let's see. Dito muna tayo sa first season, and I hope, really hope, this gets more traction, more
Sa inyo.
ako personally, there was one comment na parang hindi ko na maalala yung ano, but ang sinasabi niya, I don't know if it's a she or a he, but ang sabi niya, hindi niya akalain na may mga ganitong kwento. He was or she was that yung viewer was supportive of the drug war din. Pero nabuksan yung mata doon sa pagtingin, and excited siya sa mga susunod na episode. So yun, isa yun sa mga nagbibigay sa amin ng encouragement na oo, tama, dito nga yung pinakamagandang platform for a series such as this.
Thank you, Direk. Thank you po.
Thanks, Ana. Next up, we have Ate Janice Navida, Bulgar.
Ayan, good evening po. First po kay Direk muna. I don't know kung naitanong Direk nung mga first screening kung bakit sa Rain YouTube channel lang siya naipalabas and why not sa bigger platforms or sa movies kaya?
Yung pinaka para po sa amin sa Rain, yung pinaka maganda sa YouTube as a platform is its accessibility. Very accessible. We think this kind of material doesn't need a paywall ba yung tawag doon. It's so that's why we wanted more people to get it and to view it, to be accessible. Yes. And pati marami sa mga kababayan natin outside of the Philippines din ma-access niya. Plus of course, yun na nga yung nabanggit kanina ni Ma'am, the very organic engagement dun sa comment section. Nagkakaroon ng conversation. Isa po yun sa dahilan or objective namin kaya namin binuo itong series is for that conversation to happen. Yun po.
Sa bagay direct, mas malaki nga naman yung yung scope kung sa YouTube. Pero when you were conceptualizing the story, did you have worries na may mga authorities na pumalag, mag-react? Since napakatapang nga po nung kwento.
Yun, napag-discuss, napag-usapan. We were very aware and conscious of how polarizing and sensitive itong subject matter. But we said maybe that was one of the reasons why it should be told. We feel na isa siyang kwento, yun, na kailangan ikwento. And as storytellers, may ganun eh.
To add to that, parang one of the first biggest project of Rain was Bagman. So socio-political din siya, corruption din, research-based, truth. So parang kami from buhay pa naman kami nila Shugs. So, sige, let's try doing this also, right?
So after the 6-part series pala, pwede pang magkaroon ng kasunod, no? The series. Ano pa yung mga nabuksan sa isip mo at sa puso mo? Kasi kilala ka namin, Romnick, na napaka-vocal mo sa social media kung ano yung mga ayaw mo. So ano pa yung mga realization mo? Ano yung mga awareness mo?
Siguro ang mahirap kasi doon sukatin or bantayan is yung general safety ng mga anak mo. As a parent, that's always your fear. I mean, recently lang may mga nababasa tayo sa mga paalam, may mga kaganapan na hindi natin nagugustuhan. No? And that would always be the only fear. Yung hindi mo sila mapangalagaan ng gusto or maihanda. And I think kailangan yung mga ganitong usapin, yung mga ganitong proyekto. Kasi doon mo lang mapapavisualize sa kanila kung ano yung mga bagay na pinakakaingatan mo for them or ano yung mga bagay na gusto mong layuan nila, di ba? And at the same time, ano yung mga bagay na dapat ipaglaban nila, di ba? Hindi mo lang siya titingnan sa aspetong, hindi ka pwede lumabas ng bahay kasi delikado. Titingnan mo rin siya dun sa aspetong, hindi pwedeng nagaganap to nang wala kang nararamdaman at wala kang sinasabi. So, as a father, yes, it is a contribution in a way. And I hope that they watch it with eyes that seek the value and truth of the storytelling more than anything else.
So last na lang, meron ka bang naisip na i-suggest para like sa issue ng drug use na yun nga yung mga kabataan ngayon, di ba? Sinasabing kaya nagkakaroon ng mga shooting incidents, baka may mga drug use din. May gusto kang i-suggest sa government para sana makontrol, mabawasan, maprotektahan ng mga kabataan?
Madali sisihin ang mga bagay na flying in the air. Katulad pag sinabi, droga ang dahilan yan. Ganito yan. Pero may programa ba tayo para turuan yung mga estudyante kung paano igalang yung baril? May programa ba tayo para pigilan at bantayan kung sino ang nagkakaroon ng baril? May programa ba tayo na nagsasabing safe yung mga anak natin sa loob ng paaralan? May programa ba tayo para sa pagbabantay ng kasiguruduhan ng mga neurological exams natin sa mga nagpupulis, sa mga nag-a-apply, magkaroon ng firearms? Lahat ba yun sigurado natin in place ng maayos? Madali manisi, madali makakita ng dahilan. Pero hanggat hindi natin napag-aaralan kung saan siya nagmula, ano pinanggalingan, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na nakahanda tayo. Madali din sabihin, kasalanan ng magulang. Pwede nga natin sabihin, kasalanan ng video games. Pero 54 anyos na po ako, nag-video game pa rin ako, wala pa akong sinasaktang tao. Di ba? I mean, in context, maraming bagay pwedeng sabihin. And until ma-figure out natin kung ano yung dapat talagang i-address at paano siya i-address ng tama. Hindi yung band-aid solution. Hindi yung tataasan natin ng ganito, babawalan natin ng ganito. Hindi yun yung solusyon eh. Ang solusyon, tinuruan ba natin sila from the very beginning ng tama? At ginagawa ba natin yung tama para sa kanila?
Okay, thank you.
Mic drop. Thank you. Thank you for that sharing. Next up po, we have Maganda Ba movie.
Maganda ba?
Maganda ba?
Ayan, super ganda. Yung episode 4, yeah. And ang question ko muna I think anyone can answer na lang. So, ito kasi napakatapang na show, tapos pumili na siya ng side eh. So, paano naman nyo hina-handle in case sa kabilang side merong komento na parang hate, parang ganun mga bashers? How do you handle it as someone who make the films and someone who act or portray the characters in a film? Ayun.
Sa episode 5, doon naman sa kabila.
Okay, sige.
Yeah. No, hindi. As we've always said, itong series na to, hindi to namimili ng side. Nagbibigay ito ng perspektibo ng bawat isa. Kung titingnan natin yung mga characters din doon, like si Jane, si Yana who played by Jane, pulis siya. Makikita natin yung kung ba't siya sa previous episodes, we see kung saan nanggagaling yung paniniwala niya dito sa drug war na kanyang sinusuportahan bilang isang character sa kwento. How do we handle it? We made sure that we represent perspectives. And dun, yung paniniwala namin talaga, marami kasi, minsan kasi nangyayari, sumasarado yung isip natin eh. So, kahit nasaan tayo, kahit saan tayo nakatayo, kasi saan tayo yung paniniwala natin tungkol sa issue. Minsan pag sumara na yung isip, yung mata, natatapos na eh. At yun yung nagiging problema. Hindi natin napapakinggan, hindi natin nakikita yung kabilang side. For all we know, baka we're all fighting for the same thing. We're all fighting for the same, we all want safety, peace for us, for our families, for our community. Pero baka iba-iba lang ng paraan kung paano ito makamit. And dun sa pagkamit na yon, dun sa conflict na yon, dun nagkakaroon baka ng problema. That's it.
Okay. And kay Romnick naman, ano yung parang, how do you handle parang pag may bashing sa
Hindi maaalis yun eh. Diba? People will choose to think and believe the way they want to think and believe. And sabi ko nga, pag may kinausap kang dalawang taong magkarelasyon at tinanong mo sila kung ano yung naging problema nila, magkaiba yung version nila ng truth because that is how they experienced it. And hindi mo pwede sabihin mali yung isa dahil lang it doesn't conform with yours. Pareho kayong totoo, pareho kayong tama. Diba? Pero katulad dahil na sabi ni Direk, sometimes you're looking at the same thing, pare-pareho kayo ng gusto, kaya lang iba kayo ng pamamaraan eh. So, hindi ko pwedeng suklian yung basher or yung hater ng ganun din. Kasi that defines me if I do that. Diba? Paano ko sasabihin nasa tamang lugar ako kung yung pamamaraan ko nagbabago at hindi consistent sa pagkatao?
Tama. Okay. Thank you. Sa last question ko na lang, kay Direk na lang. Ano yung parang goal? Kasi nalalapit na rin yung matapos yung season 1 nitong drug war. Ano yung parang masasabi nyo as a socio-political series, paano yung masasabi na na-hit nito yung goal? Kung nagre-reflect ba siya sa society? Parang, ano yung parang gusto nyo mabago once napanood nila to?
Aside from the million views. Bawat episode na. It's really that, yung nabanggit ko kanina, conversation. Mapag-usapan. Kasi din, sa pag-uusap doon natin hindi nakakalimutan. And doon, minsan doon din natin nag-check sa mga sarili natin. Like, isa sa mga early conversations kami ng writing team we had was, nasan ba tayo nung panahon na to? Isa yon sa mga, ano ba yung pananaw natin nitong nangyayari to lahat? Isa yon. So, we think pagka napanood to ng viewers, and we hope na pag napanood to ng viewers, they get that same introspection.
Pag-usapan. Ayan, sige. Salamat and good luck.
Thank you. Next we have Rommel of Showbiz Circle. Dr. Romel.
The question in my head is, after all these things, after all these years, ba't nangyari to? Ba't kailangan mangyari yung ganito? And ito ba yung sagot? Because it doesn't talk about hope, it doesn't talk about second chances, it doesn't talk about changing the person, it doesn't talk about rehabilitating the person. It just throws away the person. And that, I think, is not a solution. I won't accept it as a solution. As a father, as a human being, as a brother, walang dapat nagkakaproblema ng gano'n. So, yun, lumabas tuloy yung hair ko. Lumabas siya mag-isa. So yun, so parang bakit umabag dito? Ganun.
And thank you and congratulations.
Thanks, Tito Romel. We have our next question lined up.
Hi, hello. I'm speaking of Jane Painesa's character. Yung police na may pagka-gray areas. Kasi it's not the usual characterization, lalo na kapag drug war ang topic, di ba? Kasi pag sinasabing drug war, usually ang parating walang boses yung mga talagang agrabyado. At yung mga victims talaga, sila yung kulang sa boses. So gaano kahalaga sa inyo na magkaroon ng boses yung ganong klaseng character sa ganitong usapin, which is,
Yes, very important. Very important. If pag napanood natin yung previous episodes, you'll see what happened in history ni Jane. Yana as the character, kung ba't siya nag-police, kung bakit ganito katindi yung paniniwala niya doon sa drug war, kung gaano kasidhi yung kagustuhan niyang masawata yung mga addict, pusher, ganyan. We feel that na importante yun because yung balance nga nung katotohanan na pinag-uusapan natin dito. We don't want to tell a story na parang isang side lang, puti lang, isang ano lang. That doesn't help the conversation again, going back to that. That won't help. So, ganun ka-importante sa amin. In fact, sa simula-simula, we decided kailangan natin ng character ng police dito. Isa sa mga kasama sa mag-iimbestiga sa totoong nangyari.
Saka parang during the real drug war, diba? So it was easy na i-vilify yung mga police. But in truth naman, some are really serving, ganyan. So there, parang you provide this different POV on ano yung pinagdaanan nila during their course of service, diba? Para yun, open up the conversation. Saka every other Filipino, baka may nakilalang victim, every other Filipino, baka may kilala ring police eh. So now you understand all fronts of that war that happened.
And I think it also goes back to like the balancing that some of the questions were alluding to earlier. It cannot just be two characters where they're both preaching to the choir. It's an investigation, it's a conversation. So it's two people with very different views of the world trying to make sense of an extraordinary event. So, and that dynamic is what we want to come across, not just as a matter of entertainment, but also as a matter of an example of how to approach extraordinary events like these. So.
Sabi niyo based on true events, sa may mga research, di ba? So while you were doing this, meron bang nagbago sa mga pananaw niyo before and after?
Inspired by true events, yes. And yes. Sa pangalawang question, yes. Nabuksan, marami. Isa na doon siguro is, ayun na nga, wala pala akong masyadong alam sa nangyari. And doing this helped me a lot. Nabuksan yung isip. Yun. Kasi minsan nakakita mo lang headlines eh. But if you dig deeper into the stories of those people na nandun sa balita, maraming mabubuksan. So,
Thank you very much.
Participate in this kind of project. Thank you.
But before I answer that, can I say something? When I found out it's going to be aired on free media, YouTube I have to give this to these guys. Sobrang nakakahanga na pwede nyo ipasok sa festivals, pwede nyo ilaban for grand prize money, pero you chose to give it away for free because you believe in the story. And that's what makes it even more valuable to do this kind of projects. So salamat. Salamat that I'm part of it. I just have to give that to them. Kasi napakahalaga niya eh. Tanga ako financially. One of those things that's true. Tanga ako financially. Hindi ko tinitingnan yung commercial value ng gagawin ko. Tinitingnan ko yung lasting value niya and impact niya sa manonood. Yung totoong storya ng mga tao sa paligid mo, kilala mo man o hindi, yun yung mas mataas ang value para sa akin kaysa sa, gusto ko silang mapatawa, gusto ko silang matuwa, gusto ko silang maaliw, gusto ko silang kaligin. Pero more than that, gusto kong malaman nila yung nangyayari sa kapwa nila. More than that, gusto kong sabihin na pwede bang magmalasakit tayong lahat sa isa't isa? Pwede bang may pakialam tayo? Hindi sa pakikialam, kundi yung may kinalaman tayo at meron tayong gustong itulong sa buhay ng kasama natin sa buhay. Diba? Yung ganun lang. So, it was very easy. It was very easy when I heard of the project and they said, sama ka. Sabi ko, game. Let's go. Diba? Tara. It matters. And anything that matters should matter to everyone.
Hindi ka natakot for your reputation, sir, because this is very polarizing. And you have a fan base.
Okay lang. This is not about ego or pride. Pero kung may fan ako na hindi ako susuportahan dahil sa mga bagay na pinanindigan ko, malamang hindi ko siya fan. So okay lang.
Like for example, the Kagaawad thing, that's the turning off of the camera. That's a real thing. So, I mean, alam naman natin maraming namatay noong panahon na yun. That's a real thing. So, yun, parang it's all grounded in reality. So, obviously, dramatized and focusing on the character of Kiko and Sir Nick's family. Pero everything else, it's true. And you react a certain way to what you watch because you believe it. Kasi alam mo rin na totoo eh. So, di ba? So, walang kailangang pambobola. Kasi, yun, alam natin lahat. Like, living through that time, di ba? So,
because of these events, was the timing of this series a consideration on your part? Meaning to say, there are cases being filed and have been filed in court. And yun nga po, si former President Duterte is facing, the biggest trial of his life. And also as well, yung mga victims and their families, they've been waiting for this case. Do you think the timing of the showing of this series would, somehow, sway either side? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you po. Timing. We think a story such as this, yung material such as this, kahit sa ang panahon, I mean, few years ago, next year, or it's a story that needs to be told. Hindi namin inisip yun, and lalong walang kinalaman yung kwento sa usaping legal po nung pinagdadaanan ni former president na kaso. We feel na minsan yun yung naging problema eh. Na tatabunan yung mga human stories. Yung mga taong, yung kwento ng mga taong naipit sa gera na to, natatabunan ng kwentong politikal. And isa yun sa mga dahilan kung ba't namin to ginawa. We wanted those stories to be heard. Huwag makalimutan.
Congratulations and thank you. As someone who has been and is heavily involved in the subject matter, kita namin yung lalim, yung depth ng research, and we appreciate yung showing all the perspectives from all the stakeholders, no? May two questions ako sasabay ko na. Yung una is, pwede bang malaman kung hindi siya tradecraft, ano yung source ng research? Kasi a lot of it, of course, we've read, we've heard, we've seen. So gusto sana namin malaman saan galing yung research materials. And second, I know the main objective of the film is to spark ongoing conversations, no? Para hindi siya matabunan. Kasi alam natin, this is the 10th year, so meron ng dekada ng commemoration activities, no? So thank you din sa pag-amplify ng message na yun. So yung second question is, was there a consideration for the affected families and communities when you were doing this film, lalo na it will be publicly accessible? So two questions. Thank you.
So I'll answer the research question first. Research-wise, we had a guy. We hired a researcher from UP, I believe, who was also involved in legal and human rights work. So they provided us with a lot of stories. I also did some of my own digging. So as I mentioned, they managed to collect a lot of stories, and it was with that trove of stories that we decided, all right, we have a lot of material here. We can begin. So yun yung yeah, that's our source basically. It's myself and the guy.
And sige, if I may add, yun, kasi nga, we feel na hindi to basta-basta subject matter. Kahit kami, we did our own, di ko na lang pangalanan kung sino. But really, people sometimes close to us.
Yeah.
Ako personally, I know people, hindi lang yung mga biktima, hindi lang yung mga, but also police on the other side.
Yeah.
Kasi yun yung gusto talaga naming marinig eh. Kasi hindi kami naniniwala na ginagawa lang to ng isang tao dahil gusto lang niyang gawin. What's the motivation? Yun, kagaya naman nabanggit nila kanina, the character, yung gusto namin mo po. The consideration for the communities, yes, of course. Yung mga nakausap kami about this. And we were very careful and sensitive na when we talk to them kung bakit ito ginagawa. Kasi yun yung yung ayaw natin, diba, na parang nagmukhang sensationalized or nagamit. Yun po.
Thank you so much, Direk. Malay mo, Miss ID, next season, kayo na yung source. Di ba? Pwede. Parang ang dami nyo, parang parehas po, natutugma nyo rin ata yung research eh. Sabi, ay, may alam si Madam. Ayun na po. But last but not the least, we do have, okay, so follow up po from the group. Sorry, pala ko, dami pinag-uusapan dito, pero again, good evening po. Ako si Colleen, also with Ateneo Human Rights Center, also a lawyer for some communities no, who are affected. And thank you po no, for making this. No. Kasi there was a time that I remember na we wouldn't dare actually talk about it or research about it or even come up with something that would memorialize no, yung mga nangyari noon. So siguro yung question ko is, so the premise is to aim for the series to create conversation. No? So yun po yung nakakuha namin. Siguro yung tanong is what sort of kind of conversations and ultimately what change from these conversations do you hope to see? Kasi we also have other pieces no, of literature or movies that spark conversation. Pero kayo po ano yung vision nyo of how the conversations and change would look like, no? And galing kanino yun, no? So, that's one parang bucket of questions. And the other is, for example, naisip ko na po, halimbawa, gusto ba natin magpa-film screening with police officers, people in power who can actually sort of put their foot down. And ito yung gusto nating magbago sa polisiya and to hold people accountable. No? Would we want to use, or are we open no, to have this series as sort of a challenge no to those people in power to see this. So yun, mapupush ba natin yung series to be able to do that? Sige po, yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you po. Yun, isa po yun sa What Kind of Conversation, as any kind as possible. Again, wala kaming pinipiling ito lang yung dapat na manood nito, ito lang. Isa sa mga nakausap namin during in one of the screenings, nabanggit niya na yung pagiging a series, this kind of it's a popular medium. So maganda siya, di ba? Parang you're watching drama, and tayong Pilipino, mahilig tayo manood ng drama, teleserye, ganyan. We were conscious of that objective, na may kwento ito sa makarating sa tahanan, sa kamalayan ng ordinaryo, yung mga hindi basta-basta. Kasi minsan, when you talk about the subject matter, ano na agad may wall na agad, may ano na agad na, hindi, dito yung paniniwala ko dyan, hindi, ito. But maybe, pagka sinabi natin, gusto yung manood, panoorin nyo to, nag-iiba, di ba? Medyo, bubuksan yung loob. And when they see characters na nandun yung paniniwala, yung pinaniniwalaan nila, mas madali sila makakapit, mas madali sila makapaniwala. And those characters, gaya na napag-usapan kanina, when they talk about the other perspectives, maririnig din nila. So yung mga ganong conversation, and yes, we'd love this, that's why we put it on YouTube, para kahit sino pwede makapanood. So yun po. I hope I answered your question.
On the matter of who we want to watch, I think ultimately we want the ordinary, the normies, so to speak, to be the ones to watch and make that decision on their own, to take a moment to maybe step outside their bubble and consider the perspective of the other side. So I think that putting it on YouTube allows each person to watch it on their own. Kasi parang the imagery of like getting two people who don't like each other to watch this in one place, it feels a bit classroomy. I don't know if that is the desired result, and makapag-away pa sila bago magsimula yung screening. But watching it on your own at home with nobody but yourself to talk to it, to contemplate. Kasi I think it was C.S. Lewis who said that the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. So to be able to examine that heart, I think a viewer has to be able to watch and contemplate in his own personal space. And that the beauty of YouTube is it allows people to do that before you make it like a communal experience, parang reconciliation commission. It first starts at the level of the individual. So, and I think we hope to reach that individual.
All right. Thank you so much.